You're handling this wrong. And the worst part? The harder you try, the worse it gets. Every time she pulls away and you adjust yourself to bring her back, whether that's chasing, shrinking, or going cold to match her distance, you're actively destroying the one thing that was keeping the connection alive in the first place, your security. And once that's gone, the relationship doesn't just struggle. It collapses in slow motion while you stand there wondering what happened, wondering what you did wrong, wondering why the more you give, the more she seems to disappear. Here's what nobody tells you. The moment she pulls away is not the moment to react. It's the moment that reveals whether your sense of self actually belongs to you or whether it depends on her staying close. And most people fail that moment completely, not because they're weak, not because they don't care enough, but because they've never been shown what a genuinely secure response actually looks like when it counts, when the silence stretches, when the texts slow down, when she's physically present but emotionally somewhere else entirely. To understand why this matters so much, you need to understand what her withdrawal actually is. It's not random. It's not personal cruelty. It's not her testing you or playing games. It's a deeply automatic response that kicks in the moment she feels a relationship getting too close, too real, or too emotionally demanding. Her nervous system treats intimacy like a threat, not because she's cold, not because she doesn't feel things deeply, but because at some point early in her life, getting close to someone meant getting hurt. And her system never forgot that. So it does what it was trained to do. It creates distance to feel safe again. The research on this is striking. Attachment science shows that she doesn't pull away because she stopped caring. She pulls away because caring itself feels dangerous to her. The closer she gets, the more she has to lose. And the more she has to lose, the louder her internal alarm system gets. Withdrawal is how she turns the volume down. It's how she regulates a nervous system that was never taught how to stay close without bracing for pain. This is important to understand because most people take her withdrawal personally. They read the distance as rejection, as a signal that something is wrong with them, as proof that the relationship is already falling apart. And that reading triggers one of two responses, either panic and pursuit or their own cold defensive withdrawal. Both feel completely logical in the moment. Both feel like the only options available. And both of them make things significantly worse in ways most people don't realize until the damage is already done. When she pulls away and you chase, calling more, texting more, asking what's wrong, showing up with more warmth and more effort trying to fix the silence, you confirm the exact thing her nervous system was already afraid of. That closeness comes with pressure. That being in a relationship means being emotionally crowded. That she was right to create distance before things got heavier. The pursuit doesn't reassure her. It doesn't pull her back. It gives her nervous system exactly the evidence it needed to justify going further in. But here's what's just as damaging and far less talked about. When she pulls away and you mirror her distance, going cold yourself, pulling back your warmth, matching her detachment, protect your own ego, you erase the one thing that was actually working in your favor, your groundedness, your emotional presence, the quiet stability that made you different from everyone else she's encountered. You stop being the person she couldn't quite figure out how to leave. You stop being the thing her system didn't have a clean response to. And you become someone she can manage just like everyone else. Predictable, safe to lose, easy to file away. This is where most people get completely stuck. They believe the only two options are chase or retreat. Reach out or go cold. Fight for the connection or protect yourself from it. Push forward or pull back. But a secure person doesn't choose either of those options. They do something that is far more powerful and far more difficult. They stay, not in a clinging, desperate, I need you to come back way. They stay grounded in their own emotional reality, in their own sense of self, in their own life, while she is deep inside her withdrawal. They don't collapse the space between them. They don't fill every silence with explanations or reassurance she never asked for. They don't perform okayness to seem unbothered. They simply remain who they are, whole, present, rooted in something her distance genuinely cannot reach. And that is when something unusual starts to happen inside her. She pulls back expecting the usual response, pursuit, or matching withdrawal. Either one gives her the control she's unconsciously looking for. Either one confirms that this relationship, like every other one, operates on her terms. She creates the distance, the other person reacts, and she gets to stay offended while still keeping the connection technically alive. But when neither happens, when you simply stay steady, living your life, not shrinking, not chasing, not performing detachment to make her comfortable, her system encounters something it genuinely doesn't know how to process. She starts feeling the absence. And feeling absence is something she has almost never allowed herself to experience, because she is always the one creating it. She's never on the receiving end of it. But when you don't react the way her system expected, when there's no pursuit to pull away from and no match of withdrawal to feel safely parallel to, she is suddenly left alone with something deeply unfamiliar, the quiet, creeping awareness that she might actually be losing something real, something that isn't going to wait around indefinitely, something her usual strategies are not equipped to handle. This is the part most people never reach, because they abandon their groundedness right before it starts working. They hold steady for a week, then send a message. They stay grounded for 2 days, then start explaining themselves. They get so close to the point where her system starts to crack, and then they blink first. Here is the truth that changes everything. A secure person handling her withdrawal is not playing a waiting game. They are not strategically withholding their emotions to manufacture reaction. They are not performing calm while quietly falling apart. They are operating from a place so deeply rooted in their own sense of self that her behavior, as painful as it genuinely is, does not have the power to redefine them. Their okayness is not dependent on her coming back. Their value is not something she gets to confirm or revoke based on whether she's pulling away this week or letting you in. That is the thing she has almost never encountered in a relationship. Not someone who pretends to be fine. Someone who actually is fine. Not because the relationship is going perfectly, not because they feel no pain, but because their identity does not hinge on her choosing them in this particular moment. She has spent years in relationships where her withdrawal produces a very specific chain reaction. She pulls back. The other person gets anxious. The dynamic shifts entirely in her favor. She feels safe and in control again, and the relationship continues on her terms until she decides otherwise. That chain reaction is so reliable, so deeply consistent, that her entire internal system is built around it. It is what she expects. It is what she knows how to navigate. A secure person breaks that chain, not by fighting it, not by outsmarting it, not by engineering a specific outcome, simply by refusing to participate in it. And when that chain breaks, when she pulls back and the expected reaction never comes, her internal architecture starts to shift in ways she didn't plan for. The walls she built for protection stop feeling like safety. They start feeling like isolation. The distance she created to feel free starts feeling like a cage she built around herself. And for the first time, she is sitting with a question her system was never designed to answer. What if pulling away this time actually cost me something I cannot get back? That question is a crack in the foundation. And it only ever appears in the presence of someone who is genuinely, not performatively secure. Now none of this means the process is painless. A secure person still feels her withdrawal deeply. They still notice every silence. They still have moments where the fear creeps in, the thought that maybe they should reach out, maybe they should explain themselves, maybe staying grounded is just a more dignified way of being alone. Those thoughts are normal. Having them doesn't make you insecure. What makes you secure is what you do next. You let the thought be there without acting from it. You stay in your own life, your own truth, your own emotional reality, trusting that your presence, your real unperformed grounded presence, is doing exactly what it needs to do without you forcing it. And if she ultimately stays in her withdrawal, if she never comes back, then understand this clearly. You did not lose a relationship by being too secure. You lost a dynamic that was only ever going to work if you kept making yourself smaller. And a relationship that requires you to abandon your own emotional reality just to keep it alive is not a relationship. It is a performance with an expiration date. Being secure doesn't guarantee she stays, but it guarantees something that matters far more. That whatever happens, you are still completely yourself. You didn't hollow yourself out chasing someone who needed you to disappear to feel comfortable. You stood in your own truth the entire time. And that is not the consolation prize. That is the whole point. If this hits something real for you, if you've been in that moment where she went quiet and you felt yourself starting to shrink, drop it in the comments. What did you do? What do you wish you had done differently? Your story might be exactly what someone else sitting in that silence right now needs to hear. And if this gave you something real, subscribe. Next week, we're going deeper into what's actually happening inside her mind during withdrawal itself, and the specific moment she starts questioning whether the distance is still worth what it's costing her. That one is going to change how you see all of this.